Hello my creepy good people, it's this time of the year, Halloween. In this episode I will present you all the Sega Genesis / Megadrive games that have a Halloween theme. Some games are well known and others obscure and rarely even mentioned anywhere. Hope you enjoy it.
When I think about Halloween, the first game I have in mind is Splatter House 2. This is an interesting beat 'em up. It's a little bit slow, but I have the effects. It was kind of very gore for me. I remember back in the days to see these aliens or monster things have green blood splatter, and the music was just so great. Really a Halloween theme that's perfect. And when you start the game, the first level, you manage to get this pole, and you hit the enemies and they splatter into the wall. That was so cool. It's a good game, perfect for Halloween. The controls are a little bit stiff and the characters walk super slow, and it can get pretty tough at some point, but the music, the atmosphere, and all this gore thing makes it a plus for the season. Just like for the third one of this series, that is Splatter House 3, this time it's a different beat 'em up. You can go all directions, a little bit like in Streets of Rage, and you can still grab a wood stick, and you still have the same effect when you hit the enemies and they splatter with the green blood. In this Splatter House you can pick the direction you want, meaning the door you want. It can be left, up, down, or right. You have this life bar, the right, but you also have a power bar to the bottom left, and you can transform, you see here, into this super muscle guy. It just lasts for some time, and to get it, it's just to collect the blue balls that you would find during your journey. No pun intended, by the way. And you have a very fun game. It handles super good. It's not as slow as in Splatterhouse 2, where your character was moving so slow. It's not as big on the screen like it used to be in Splatterhouse 2. It's so enjoyable. I like all these different paths. I definitely recommend this game. Now I have 3 games that start with the letter W and that all involve Warlock, Sorcerer or Magician. The first one is Wardner. It's an obscure, fun but unforgiving little 8-bit style straightforward game. You have to rescue your girlfriend that has been kidnapped by the magicians while you were lost in the forest. Not a well-known game. I don't think there were a lot of prints to this game. It looks kind of the old school style. It's simplistic, but if you like this style, it's a well-done game, however. Then we have Warlock, that is based on the same name movie, Warlock the Armageddon. It offers nice and detailed animations, handles very well, it has very good music and graphics. It's a long game, but thankfully it has a password system. I like it. In this game you are a modern druid who must travel through time to prevent the bad guy, aka the Warlock, from finding all of the runestones that would give him, the possessor, the ultimate power to undo Earth's creation. It's another typical story for such game. Finally, we have Wiz'N Liz. It is very fast and fun. First, it's confusing, but when you understand what you have to do and what you have to collect, it all makes sense. A very good game. You have to collect multiple items, such as letters, then rabbits, that is spelled with a W, that is just rabbits. And after that, it allows you to have ingredients to make a special potion. As you can see, you are a magician. It's a very good game. It's pretty fast, has good music. The graphics do their job, and it was a successful Amiga port. Altered Beast was the first game packed in with a console, either for the Genesis or the Megadrive. So this game is known by everybody, but if you lived under a rock all these years, so just to know, you are this character that can transform into a beast, therefore the name Altered Beast, and you have to rescue your daughter Athena from the demonic ruler of the underworld, Neph. So in this game you can transform in different beasts. The first one is the werewolf, you can be some kind of dragon and a bear. It's a very simplistic beat them up. There's nothing very incredible, but it's very enjoyable and easy to play from time to time. For a lot of people it's done memory lane and can be one of their favorite games, as it may have been their first game on the console. It's a short, but good enough game, I would say. Another very well-known game is Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, and in this game you have level 3 that is in the cemetery and your enemies are the undead. So this is the main level that would feel good for Halloween theme. Maybe a little bit level 4 because you see the spiders and again the undead. However, there are some soldiers. Anyhow, this game is pretty good. Michael Jackson's move are so smooth. You can hear Michael Jackson music in the background. That's a good game from the earlier days of the Genesis, but still good to this day. You have to rescue these young girls. It's a little bit repetitive through the game, but it's still an enjoyable title. I wanted to briefly mention Eternal Champions regarding Xavier the Magician stage that has an eerie feel. It's very Halloweenish. Eternal Champion is a good fighting game, but it's hard and it takes some practice to master it. Nightmare Circus is a very late 1996 release for the Sega Genesis, and it was physically released only in Brazil. However, it was also released on the Sega Channel in the US and on Saga Channel in the UK. That's a reason why it is not well known. The other main reason that this game is not known is that it is a nightmare to play. Even if the characters' animations look cool, this game is just plain bad. There is nothing redeemable here. I would only recommend it for curiosity. And the story is pretty bland. You go to a haunted circus that burned down years ago and killed many people, including people from your family, from the main character, and you're trying to get some answers, I guess. Well, I would avoid it. That's just my opinion. When you see this on your screen, you know you're gonna have a great game, and it is for sure with Castlevania Vampire Killer. The Japanese name, it's called Bloodlines in the US and the New Generation in Europe. But I think for Halloween, Vampire Killer is the better name. So this game is amazing and is in the top 10 video games on the Genesis / Megadrive for a lot of people, and it's also known as one of the best Castlevania game ever. Obviously, people don't have exactly the same opinion, but usually it's what comes up. This game has an amazing soundtrack, great level design. The developer really used all the capacity of the Genesis to give an amazing title. We have 2 different characters that can be picked, and this game is just a joy to play. If you haven't played it yet, it should be in the games you need to have in your playlist. You have to defeat Elizabeth Bartley, that is a vampire who is trying to bring back her uncle, the famous Dracula, back to life. The next 3 games are ball games. The first one name is Devilish, and it is called Bad Omen in Japan. They made a good job on the name, so you can clearly hear Devilish or Bad Omen. So this game, you can see you have 2 platforms, and basically the one you control is the upper one, and the one to the bottom just follows the upper one. And the upper one, you can change the direction to incline it to the left or to the right. It has a good music, and initially you're not too sure if this game would be fun, but after playing for a few minutes, it's not too bad actually. I really enjoyed it. The design is cool, you see the enemies, the bosses are well drawn, and the levels are kind of different. They introduce fun things and various objects you see here. It's a little bit different. Then you have a path to choose. It can be up or left in this one, and if you go left you have to turn your platform in a way that pushes the ball to the left. I really recommend this game. It's not well known, but deserves more attention. The next ball game is Devil Crush. That is the Japanese name, and it feels a little bit like Devilish, the previous game, in the graphics, the design. This game is named Dragon's Fury for the US and Europe, but I picked Devil Crush because I think the name is more fitted for Halloween. So this is a pinball game that is extremely well done. It's on 3 connected levels, and it's extremely well done. It's scrolling well. You see details like the skull eye that is looking at the ball if it goes up and down. It's a very good game. The music is awesome, and you have bosses. You see one here, and to manage to get to these bosses, usually you have to kill a few enemies on the main screen, and then it opens the door. So basically it can be through the mouth of the dragon, or the skull, or when you're on top. That's an awesome game, you should play it. There's a sequel that was made to the previous game, Devil's Crash, aka Dragon's Fury. So this time the game is named Dragon's Revenge, I guess that makes sense, and it was done by a different team. So the feel of this game is different than the previous one, and it feels a little bit off. The graphics are okay, they don't feel as good as in the previous one, and the music is just tasteless. The first one had an awesome music, and here it's bad actually, so it doesn't help you enjoy the game better. And in this game, the ball's physics is a little bit off. You still have the same things as in the first game, so 3 tables together, and you still have bosses that you access through killing some enemies and then allowing to have an access to this boss screen. The dragon is back in this game, such as the main lady's face in the board in the middle. There is one thing, however, that I think it's kind of cool in this game, is that the main table that is made of, let's say, 3 screens, it's a little bit wider because it adds a few extra things on the left side and upper right side, I could say. And you have a few elements here and there that are more from pinballs, that reminds you some real pinballs that were not in the first game. So overall it's fine to play this game, but if I have to recommend one, you'd better stick to Dragon's Fury, aka Devil's Crash. The Immortal is an early action-adventure game, and actually you are a wizard who is attempting to find your mentor in a large and dangerous labyrinth. This game is hard and requires you to grind a little to progress, but some people really enjoy it. Nowadays it looks a little bit old. You see this tiny letterbox screen, it's kind of grainy. However, I think it still has some charm. I like the atmosphere, the music, and the way your character moves. The animation is pretty well done. Ghostbusters is another early game known by everybody. I like the character design and the upbeat music. However, the graphics are grainy and kind of bland. It's a short game, but a good time. And I'm sure everybody knows the story of Ghostbusters, so no need to talk about it again. Another early game that needs no introduction, Ghouls and Ghosts, also known as Daimakaimura in Japan. You are Knight Arthur, and you have to save a princess from Satan. How original! This game is great, but I'm sure you already know it. It's tough, but you can get through it by memorization. It has various interesting levels and bosses, even if the graphics are a little basic due to the fact it was a launch game. Highly recommended game. Flink is a very good looking platformer only released in Europe for the Megadrive. In the US, there is a Sega CD version with an improved soundtrack. This game has very nice animations. It gets a little bit of time to get used to the controls that are a little sticky and slippery depending on occasion. However, when mastered, you can really appreciate this well done game. As far as the story goes, you are Flink, an apprentice wizard in mission to save the island from a bad guy who's destroying it. Some may call this game a hidden gem, and it's a very interesting one, and you should definitely check it out if you manage to get a game, otherwise to play it by any other means. After Flink, the Pagemaster is another cute-looking game inspired by the movie with the same name. And I could say about the same things about this game as for Flink. So it takes a little bit of time to get used to the controls that are a little bit slippery, I would say, and there's a few things specific that you have to get used to before appreciating the game better. This game is not easy, and it's not a short game. However, the graphics are great, just like the soundtrack. The animation of the characters are very good. I recommend this game if you have a little bit of patience. The story is that you get yourself into a book and just leave it. Chakan is a very dark game with abrasive and stressful music. Controls are a little bit stiff, and man, this is a hard game. Some people love it and some others don't. I personally think it would need more polish to make it a good game, but feel free to play it and make your own opinion. Chakan is based on the comic book of the same name. The story is that you are Chakan, a warrior that is so proud of himself that he challenged death to a duel, and if he won, he would get eternal life, until he clears all the evil of the world. So basically you are trying to get rid of this curse and manage to finally get rest and basically die. Frankenstein introduction is very nice. I really like it. I thought that it could be a great game, but right away I can tell you that this game just looks like it's a very early demo. When you first move Frankenstein, it kind of looks fluid, and you may think it could be a good game, but as soon as you see an enemy and you try to hit him, you see that right away it's gonna be a bad game. The reach is bad. I mean, you try to hit him, it doesn't work well, you just manage to get hit. It's not even the kind of game that you would think I have to get used to it. It's just plain bad. I think they should have spent more time for, I don't know, the hit detection. This game is absolutely not fun. It's a chore to play it. After Frankenstein, now we have Bram Stoker's Dracula, based out of a movie with the same name. The introduction is pretty nice. The controls are very good, actually, and the music is either okay and sometimes it can be good. The level design is just nothing special. It's just plain. There is nothing really exciting about this game, but actually it plays okay. You have large bosses at the end of each level. That's pretty nice, however it feels like it's difficult to avoid being hit by them, and when you hit them you not really know about it. So it's okay, an eventful game. So the story is that you are a young lawyer, Jonathan Harker, and you must free yourself from Dracula's capture. Scooby-Doo Mistery is an interesting game. Beside Pac-Man 2, it is the only true point-and-click game on the Sega Genesis / Megadrive. There are two stories. One story is Blake's Hotel. Basically, there is a hotel that was built on an old Indian cemetery, and there's a chieftain ghost that is scaring everybody. And the second story is Haha Carnival. So basically it's in a weird carnival area where your friends get kidnapped and you have to find them and solve mysteries. This game is pretty cool, and it's different than any other game on the Sega Genesis because it's the only real point-and-click game. It's kind of refreshing. You can just relax, play the game, live the experience, even if it's not the kind of game you play most of the time. I mean, that's fine, just to try it out. Now let's get to a heavy hitter. Zombies Ate My Neighbor. That is just called Zombies in Europe. This game is amazing. Controls are great. Graphics and music do the job well without being incredible, but the gameplay that is helped by the password system keep making you coming back to this game. There are 55 levels and you have a wide variety of weapons you can use. At the beginning you can either pick the girl or the boy, or play with both, as it's 2 players. And your mission is to rescue your neighbors from the zombie apocalypse. It's a top game to play, especially during Halloween season. The Addams Family is another game that is inspired from a movie of the same name. So in this game you are Gomez Addams and you have to save your family that was kidnapped by Abigail Craven, who's trying to obtain the Addams Family wealth in exchange. So I would say that this game is a poor Little Mario inspired game. The controls are very slippery, and that's the main default I have with this game. I could have enjoyed it better if the controls were tighter. The graphics are good, nothing incredible, but they do the job. The musics are okay, but there are very few songs, and they share multiple levels, so it gets a little bit repetitive. Overall, I would say this game is okay. It's still fun, but it can be a little bit annoying and frustrating because of controls. Decapattack is an interesting and very original platformer. You are Chuck D-Rock and your job is to defeat the demon Max Decap, who wants to conquer the world. This game has a good variety of levels, with some being very colorful. The music is awesome, and the controls are great, even if you first have to get used to the slippery effect when you want to stop after running around. Definitely a game I recommend. Gargoyles is a late release on the Sega Genesis. In this platformer, loosely based on the show of the same name, you control Goliath, and your goal is to destroy the Eye of Odin, that is a corrupted magical talisman which can transform whoever possesses it. You're gonna have to fight its owner, Demona. This game has a very dark atmosphere and rocks good but not outstanding graphics through 11 levels that offers a good variety. The music's are okay, but even if there are multiple tracks, it's very repetitive and it feels like it is the same kind of music through the whole game. The controls are slow and not very responsive, and the fairly large sprite of the main character makes the hit detection and landing of each jump approximative. It's also what makes the game fairly difficult. Nevertheless, I still recommend checking this game out, as the animations and ability to grab and walk on any walls, fly, run and roll is very enjoyable. Hunting is a unique game where you take control of a ghost named Polterguy, whose mission is to scare the people from the house until they leave it. You're just trying to take revenge on your death caused by a defective skateboard sold by the dad's company. You can get into virtually any item in this game, in each room, and that will create a scary effect. This game is a weirdly good one. It's not well known, and some could call it a hidden gem, a plus game to play on Halloween. Quackshot has one level in Transylvania, at Dracula's castle, that fits the Halloween theme. In this game you are Donald Duck, and obviously you have to defeat Dracula in this level. This game is a great and iconic platformer, widely known, that is inspired by Indiana Jones, and in which you're in a treasure's quest. I think everything is great in this game. Controls, music, atmosphere. That's a very good game, and I recommend anybody to play it at least once. Fantasia is a platformer loosely based on the Walt Disney musical film of the same name. Just like for Quackshot, this game has one level that fits the Halloween theme. It's the last level, level 4. It takes place in what looks like hell, within the fire environment. You control Mickey, that is an apprentice sorcerer, and you have to find your master's music notes that were stolen. This game has graphics that are okay. I would say the first level looks pretty good, but the rest is just okay. And it's the same for the music. It could have been better, and there's a few tracks that obviously everybody know. But the main issue is the controls, as Mickey is slow to respond, and it just feels like sticky. A lot of people put this game as one of the worst games on the console. I don't think it's a good game, but it's still playable. I have a little bonus. It is Ghost Hunter, that is a Taiwanese unlicensed game. I picked it because obviously it's a ghost in the title. I guess it's fitting for Halloween. So basically this game is a copy of Pang by Capcom. On this Megadrive version it features original characters and music, but it looks like the background images ripped from the Super Famicom version of Super Prank. So in this game basically you have to hit all these balls falling on you, so I guess it's supposed to be ghosts. And when you hit a big ball, it separates into two smaller balls, and on and on. That's actually a pretty fun game. Demons of Asteborg is a brand new 2021 release for the Sega Genesis / Megadrive. It is a platform-based game with some Metroidvania elements inspired by a lot of other titles such as Ghouls & Ghosts, Castlevania, Mickey Mania, Space Harrier, or Panzer the Dragon. You are Gareth, a knight of the Royal Guard, and your mission is to prevent Zadimus and its evil forces to destroy Asteborg. This game has a very high quality production, great graphics, music, controls and level design. It feels like a major company like Sega did this. At this time, you have to wait until they ship the second batch of games. Only the first batch was released for the people who backed up the Kickstarter. But it's a must-own game. There's a demo that is available online on demonsofAsteborg.com if you already want to play it. I wanted to include Alien 3 as a little bonus to this list, just because it is creepy, even if it doesn't have a real Halloween feel, so there's no ghost, no werewolf, no vampires, etc. Alien 3 is a run-and-gun game based on the 1992 film of the same name. You control Ellen Ripley and you have different missions depending on the level, such as rescuing hostages or sealing doors to prevent aliens invasion, for example. The game rocks good soundtracks, graphics are nice but not incredible. It controls well, even if jumps are very awkward. The main character looks a little weird, to be honest. It's a good but challenging game that I recommend. There are numerous games that I haven't included in this list because basically they were just about monsters but nothing really on the Halloween theme, such as Mutant League Hockey, Mutant League Football, Skeleton Crew, Stormlord, Rock'n'Roll Racing, Shadow of the Beast, Predator 2. A lot of RPG games have creatures in it, but not that much Halloween-y, I would say. Or like games like Toxic Crusader or The Ooze. I think they just like use some weird creature, but that's it. Even Castle of Illusion with Mickey Mouse, it's more like a very happy little game, even if at the end you have a witch. Or finally Crewball, it rocks metal music, but I don't see anything Halloween-y into it. And Values of Addams Family, it's another Addams Family game, but in this one it does not even feel like an Addams Family game, and it has nothing creepy or Halloween-y as well. I want to thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe and share the video if you enjoy the content. In the meantime, have a good one.